clarify natin. Kasi I just went through yung government spending and budget deficit and surplus without defining first what is taxation. Taxation is the ability of the government, or yun nga, the power of the government to levy money from the people. Ganun lang yon. It's a power of the government para mangolekta ng amount of money sa mga tao. At ginagamit yon ng gobyerno para nga sa spending. Okay? Ngayon, yung kinokolektang pera na yon ng gobyerno, pwede itong manipulahin, pwede itong kontrolin, base sa kung ano yung takbo ng ekonomiya sa pamamagitan ng fiscal policy. Fiscal policy, ito yung sinasabi dito, concerns itself with the manipulation of government spending, that is one of the inflows in the economy, and taxes, which is the outflow or one of the outflows in the economy. It's a form of manipulation or control of the government in economic affairs. Merong ding types yung fiscal policy. We will implement a restrictive fiscal policy or restrictive control kapag merong tayong na-experience na maluwag na daloy ng ekonomiya. Siyempre, kapag sobrang luwag ng daloy ng ekonomiya, sobrang dami ng umiikot na pera, mabilis yung takbo, marahil sa dulo nun, negative yung mangyayari. Lahat ng sobra ay masama. So sa pagkaganon yung nangyayari, dapat, syempre, kabaliktaran yung gagawin ng ekonomiya. Kailangan mag-impose ng restrictive fiscal policy. What are the example of restrictive fiscal policy? Magre-raise ng tax, magbabawas, as this example says, magbabawas ng government spending, yun nga, para hindi natin ma-experience yung disadvantages ng napakabilis na takbo ng ekonomiya. Ngayon naman, pagka merong nakaka-experience tayo na mabagal ng takbo ng ekonomiya, maraming out of work, yung ating produksyon ay lumiliit, kailangan mag-impose yung gobyerno ng expansionary or pagluluwag sa mga patakarang pang-ekonomiya sa pamamagitan ng pagbubuwis. So, papaano nagwo-work yun? Siyempre, kabaliktaran, babawasan yung imposition ng taxes, mas maggagasta, para mas maraming mga empleyado ang kukunin from the citizens. Have you noticed the difference between the two kinds of fiscal policy? Pao? Sige nga, I'll check kung may nakukuha sa ganitong klase ng interplay. Pao? Pao? How about Regina? Morning po. Regina Benitez, just state what you what's on your mind. How about Marian Longabella? Kailangan ko bang ulitin or i-restructure ang aking discussion? Medyo complicated ba? Sige, magsalita kayo. That's the purpose of synchronous. At di sana ni-record ko na lang, di ba? Tulad ng ginagawa ko ngayon sa ano. Sige, magtanong kayo. Flores. Medyo anong nakukuha mo or hindi mo nakukuha? Flores.
Hello po. Bali, ano po, yung pagka-intro ko po sa sinabi nyo. Di ba po, ano lang po, for example, kagaya po ngayon, may pandemic po. Bali, ang na-observe ko po, talagang bumababa po yung economic po natin, state. Kumbaga, di ba po, marami pong mga nawalan ng trabaho. Doon pa lang po sa example na po yun, makikita po natin, yung government po natin is nag-a-adjust po sila para po sa mga
medyo nawala ka, Flores. Sa akin lang ba?
Sa mga business nahirapan, lalo po.
Okay.
Hello.
So,
medyo choppy po.
Narinig ko doon yung choppy ba ako, Flores?
Medyo po, pawala-wala din po. Palipat-lipat po ako ng pwesto.
Medyo nakuha ko yung gist ng sinabi ni Flores. Na-simplify niya nga actually. Ito yung term niya na pag-a-adjust. No? Yun nga, adjustment depends on what is the economic situation. Di ba? Nung naranasan natin yung pandemic, nakaranas tayo ng mabagal na takbo ng ekonomiya dahil for one, maraming nawalan ng trabaho, nabawasan yung ating productivity, at that would hurt the economy. Paano e-enter yung government dito? Government will spend more to be able to encourage people to buy in the demand side. The government also spend by continuing their project, for instance, yung kanilang infrastructure project, para mas marami pa ring tao na employed in this situation. No, kaya nga nakikita nyo rin yung variation in terms of policy restriction depends on community quarantine. Actually, iisa lang yung community quarantine. Pero bakit from time to time nag-iiba yung variation, nagiging enhanced community quarantine, nagiging modified enhanced, nagiging general or GCQ, General Community Quarantine. Bakit ganon? Dahil ino-observe din ng government yung number of cases and what will be the future scenario. And from that observation, from those situations, the government must impose or must be flexible in imposing different kinds of policies that will affect the economy. Okay? Kapag mas marami yung cases at napoproject na mas dadami pa in the future, i-impose yung mas restrictive kind of policy. Ano ba yun? Enhanced community quarantine. Pagka medyo nakikita yung pagbaba ng cases, syempre, mas gusto natin yung marami tayong production. So, luluwagan natin. no? Dahil it would hurt the economy naman kapag masyadong restrictive. Nakikita nyo ba na nagigets nyo na ba yung kumbaga dapat maging flexible ng economy, and the economy can be flexible with the intervention of government. Hindi kayang mag-self-correct ng economy just through invisible hand or just through through prices or through different transactions of people. 'Di ba? Kailangan pa rin ng intervention ng government through policy. Malinaw na ba sa lahat? Nakikita ba yung maliit na doon na principle doon? Yun yung mahalaga. Then from there you can read more and enhance your understanding. Eliza, have you get it? Eliza, hindi ko kayo marinig. Na gets ba?
Opo, sir. Pasensya na po, di po nakasagot na sa...
pero naintindihan naman.
Opo.
Okay. Princess.
Good morning po. Opo.
Okay.
Hello po. Hello.
Ayan, okay. Narinig ko. Okay naman, ha? Okay. Ana, Carmina. So this will be included in your final exam, ha? I might give you situation, then you will determine based on that situation. Kumbaga, dapat alam nyong i-analyze. Ana, Carmina.
Naiintindihan po.
Okay. Regina.
Yes po.
Pao.
Naiintindihan po.
Sir, good morning po. So, sensya na po, kaka-connect lang.
You can ask more questions. Sige.
Pwede po ba magtanong?
Okay, sige.
About to sa, di ba actually, hindi ko po na-complete. Kaka-connect ko lang. Narinig ko po kasi kanina about sa private mga businesses that government will control every businesses. So, sir, di ba may tinatawag din po tayo mga private sectors na hindi ko lang po sure kung meron silang mga batas na the same as nasa public sectors. Ang tanong ko po, sir, kahit po ba yung government, pwede po ba makontrol ng isang gobyerno ang mga nasa private sectors businesses?
Of course.
Kahit,
even
or
private.
sabihin natin, fiscal policy.
Yes, of course. Of course, kailangan talaga ng control ng government even in private sectors. Under sila ng Corporation Code of the Philippines and other special laws intended for them. Hindi porket hindi lang public sectors ang makokontrol ng government. Though, mas malaki yung kanilang manipulation on the part of government sectors, pero yun yung doon yung nakikita, doon natin makikita yung malaking power of taxation of government kapag nagiging involved na siya sa private sector. Okay? Even private sector ay subject to the power of taxation or fiscal policies ng government. Wow.
Thank you po, sir.
Okay. We will further define kung papaano pa ba nag-work yung power of taxation ng government and fiscal policy sa mga even private sector. Sige. There are the pros and cons. Of course, you can still read this. Sige, i-highlight ko siguro yung mga dapat kailangan na elaboration. One of the pros or advantage is of course it can stimulate the economy if it experience a sudden downside or sudden collapse. The negative will be it can be politically dangerous to implement. What does it mean? There are politicians who are using this power to leverage or to use this as an influence for their politics, so that in the next election they will be voted. Pero nandun naman yon, it is their power naman, it is their duty naman, but they can appear that they are doing this because of their benevolence to the people. Diba? Nakakakita ba kayo ng mga tarpaulins that shows their faces and they state that this is where your taxes go? Of course, it's a form of transparency, but most people, especially less knowledgeable ones, will interpret it as a form of goodness of this politician, or a form of sincere benevolence. Pero given na naman yon. Nagigets nyo ba? Dapat naman talaga maging transparent. It's given na maging transparent ng mga government officials. Siyempre, para maging maging aware tayo kung saan napupunta yung taxes natin. So, your goal here as an economic teacher or social studies teacher is to inform the citizens who are students that it is really their prerogative, it is really their duty. They're not doing this dahil mga immaculate sila or mga angel sila sent from the heaven. Nagets niyo ba? Hindi ko masyadong narinig yung response nyo ng ganun kabilis dito sa MS Teams eh. If you can turn on your camera, pwede ba, or respond from time to time kahit sino sa inyo, dahil hindi ko naririnig kung may nakikinig pa ba. Anyway, that's it. It can be politically inclined. Number 2, pro, is to discourage negative externalities. I'll give you an example in this pro. Parang you can use taxation to impose to manipulate prices, di ba? Kapag nagpataw tayo ng mas mataas na buwis, that means it will have an effect sa price. Kunyari, nagpataw tayo, you will impose indirect tax sa isang good, sa isang service. Kapag, for some instance, tinaasan yon, madi-discourage yung tao na bumili. At magbigay nga kayo ng example ng isang good na isang product na nakaka-produce ng negative externality, or kapag kinonsume mo, maraming tao na maaapektuhan negatively. Jayan, can you, or Pao, sige.
Sir, siguro one of the best example of this, yung nangyari sa Bangladesh. Kasi di ba nagkaroon po ng pandemya, then yung government is, ang way na lang nila para tumaas yung economic tawag dito, growth nila, tsaka makabawi sa mga gastos ng gobyerno is pagtaas ng taxation, even sa mga produkto pagtatrabaho or sa mga unemployment people. So, ang nangyari, nagkaroon ng protest, then parang, of course, na-discourage din yung mga tao na bumili kasi, yun nga, sabi nila, ang dahilan daw ng pagpoprotesta nila is bakit daw tinataasan yung yung tax na tax nila kahit na wala daw silang trabaho, and then pandemic too.
How about we impose taxes on those products that produces negative externalities. For instance, tinaasan natin yung buwis sa sigarilyo. Will that affect the economy? Pao? Positive or negative? Tinaasan natin yung buwis sa sigarilyo. Pao? Hello? Other idea? Anne-Marie? J-Ann?
Hello, sir.
Yan.
Hello.
Please respond kung
Pwede po pa ulit.
paano pag nag-impose tayo ng greater taxes on cigarettes?
Kokonti na lang po yung bibili, sir. Tapos sir, yung mga gumagamit ng sigarilyo, pwede po nilang bawasan yung paggamit nila sa isang araw dahil po sa pag-i-impose ng tax po dun sa cigarettes.
Will that benefit the entire economy? J-Ann? As a whole? Of course, yes. Because consumption of cigarette not only negatively affects you as a user, but also the other people around you. Kaya nga, negative externality. Kahit yung mga tao na nakapaligid sa iyo ay maapektuhan negatively. We will decrease those instances that people are experiencing lung diseases, no? And kung ganun yung nangyari, mas magbe-benefit tayo. Wala tayong ganun kalaking gastos sa hospitalization, mas maraming sakit yung ma-diminish, no? Yun ay dahil dinidiscourage natin yung pagbili. So there are other instances that imposition of greater tax or restricting policies will positively benefit the entire economy. May mga ganong pagkakataon na ang imposition ng tax ay positive pala para ma-discourage yung tao na magamit or para ma-regulate. Okay? Para ma-impose yung isa pang power of the state, which is the police power. So yun, mamaya elaborate pa natin yan. The positive effect of fiscal policy in general, it can seen much quicker as the effects of monetary tools. Makikita natin agad-agad yung resulta kapag nag-implement tayo ng fiscal policy. The negative effect, on the other hand, it can affect in the long run. It will, kung hindi natin makita yung negative effects in the long run, it might haunt us in the future. 'Di ba? Mayroon akong tanong din sa learning guide na medyo confusing, medyo diverging yung sagot. Is raising or is inflation positively affect the economy, or is giving more incentives on people will positively affect the economy? Dalawa ang sagot doon actually. And I will credit your answer depends on your explanation. Okay, kung wala doon sa dalawang sagot na yon, syempre, wala akong ibibigay na score, or I'll give you 1 or 0.5. So anyway, pwedeng umenter ang government, pwedeng kumontrol, pwedeng mag-restrict, pwede niya i-impose yung kanyang power for fiscal policy through DTI, Department of Labor Employment, but more specifically sa Congress, which is the House of Representatives and Senate. Dahil nga ang isa sa mga nature ng taxation ay it is inherent, and therefore it must be unlimited and comprehensive. It is subject to limitation. Dapat hindi lang basta-basta nag-i-impose ng tax ang government. Kinakailangan ng enabling law para dito. And magagawa yung batas na yon sa pamamagitan ng House of Representatives and Senate. But more specifically, House of Representatives talaga. Okay? So there are good taxation principle policies, good taxation policy principles that we must adhere to. Dapat ang taxation policy ay sigurado. Dapat merong principle of certainty. Dapat kung ano yung defined sa batas, yun lang. And dapat klaro yun. Dapat ang convenience of payment is in the perspective of the taxpayer and not in the government. Dapat merong convenience of payment. That's why now, may mga paraan yan, nagiging online, nagkakaroon ng mga outlets para mas mapabilis. Dapat effective yung tax administration, dapat na-administer ng mabilisan or madalian. The information that was given by the taxpayers must be secured or must be protected. That's another principle. And another, that must be simple, easy to understood by the citizens or who are the taxpayers. That must be neutral. Dapat wala tayong pinapanigan based on different people or based on the progression of tax. Dapat dapat ang tinutungo nito ay economic growth and efficiency. May transparency and visibility. Should know that this cost that he paid for the government exists. Dapat ine-explain yan. Dapat ma-minimize yung tax gap. Dapat dapat ginagamit yung tax para mabawasan yung inequality na nagaganap. We must ensure accountability to the taxpayers, that if there's there's an existing resistance or pagrereklamo or merong tanong, dapat sinasagot. Dapat appropriate government revenues yung tinutungo din. Equity and fairness, which is yun, reiteration. So there are syempre subject to different interpretation itong equity and fairness. Horizontal equities suggest that taxpayers in similar circumstances should bear a similar tax burden, while in vertical equity, different circumstances, that means we must also follow such principle na iba't ibang level ng taxation based on circumstances. What if you're wealthy? What does it entail by equity ba? Ibig sabihin ba nun kapag mayaman, ang binabayad na buwis ng mayaman ay parehas sa binabayad na buwis ng mahirap? Ganon ba ibig sabihin ng equity or equality? Sige nga. Jayan, ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng equality?
Equality po, sir. Pareho po. Pareho po. Pareho po. Sige po.
Sige, tuloy mo lang.
Pag equity po kasi pwede pong yung sa mayaman po, mas mataas yung bayaran niya kaysa po dun sa mahirap. Basic, kung ano lang po yung parang makakayanan ng mahirap.
Yun. Pero di ba ang gusto din natin minsan equality, is that good for the economy, yung ganong principle?
Sir, hello?
Paano yung equality? Di ba minsan gusto nating makamit yung equality? Is it good for the entire economy? Na ang binabayaran na buwis ng mayaman ay dapat bayaran ding buwis ng mahihirap. Ang ganong perspective ay hindi tumutungo sa principle ng equity at fairness. Hindi fair yung ganon. Ang principle natin nun ay dapat base sa kakayahan mong magbayad or ability to pay principle.
Opo.
So, yun. I'll discuss more general principles on taxation in a Philippine context. So, another reiteration din, pero mas detail. So, there are two purposes of taxation. Number one is to generate funds for the economy or for the entire state. And number two, meron tong minsan invisible na function, which is non-revenue or hindi talaga elicit, hindi ang primary purpose ay mag-elicit ng funds, kundi para mag-regulate, para i-impose yung kanyang power for police power or eminent domain for the purpose of regulation and control. So, PAL versus EDU different, ang tawag dito ay mga jurisprudence. So, the jurisprudence or yung mga decisions of the Supreme Court form part of the legal system of the Philippines. So, kung ano yung napagdesisyonan dito regarding taxation, for instance, that will form part of the general principles of taxation. So, in PAL versus EDU, ito yung decision ng court na yun. It further defined the power of the state, power of taxation of the state. So dito, Philippine Airlines or PAL raised an issue before the court that they must be exempted from paying tax because it is provided for under the law that kailangan lang nilang magbayad ng 2% of their gross revenue in the granting of their franchise, that will give them this right to be exempted from taxation. So merong isang instance na si LTO commissioner nung dati Land Transportation pa ang tawag noong 1988. Nag-impose siya ng registration fee sa lahat ng mga vehicle, including Philippine Airlines. Ngayon, si Philippine Airlines nagreklamo sa Supreme Court, bakit kami magbabayad? Under this law nga, exempted kami sa taxation. So, the court defined that based on different jurisprudence then, taxation or taxation through registration fee may be imposed by the government for the purpose of regulation. So, if there is a law that says that it is everyone is subject, including PAL, for this taxation, of course, they should also adhere because of the principle of non-revenue or regulatory principle of tax. So, partially granted itong prayer ng PAL, but hindi na pwedeng ibalik yung nabigay na bayad because other principle of taxation says that taxes could not be a subject of compensation or set-off. Pag naibigay mo na sa gobyerno, hindi mo na pwedeng ibalik. So, yun yung principle natin makukuha dito sa jurisprudence na to. Dito naman sa Tio versus Videogram, Valentin Tio is under the an owner of Omi Enterprises, which is dati naabutan nyo ba yung mga Video City? Pero in this year kasi wala pang mga video yung VCD. Meron dito dati ay mga tawag dito VHS. Ngayon, ang Videogram Regulatory Board is a regulation boards ng mga ganitong VHS tapes na dapat balance lang yung existence nila. So, meron silang inimpose itong Videogram Regulatory Board that imposes certain taxation or certain tax on these small businesses like yung yun nga, nagbebenta sila ng mga video tapes or mga VHS tapes. Ang sinasabi, dapat patawan ng malaking buwis itong mga nagbebenta ng VHS para mabalance yung nangyayaring film industry sa Pilipinas. Sa whereas clauses nila ng kanilang decree, ang pinaka-reason nila kung bakit nila ini-impose nito ay dahil nawawalan na or nababawasan na ng bilang yung tao na pumupunta sa sinehan. So, through this law, through imposition of taxes on this VHS, mababalanse at maaring pumunta yung tao instead sa mga sinihan instead of buying VHS. Na, syempre, nireklamuhan ng mga owners. So, it held then in this decision that government can do that. The Videogram Regulatory Board can impose greater taxes or great taxes on this and this VHS selling companies. No? Dahil justified sila na gawin yon. It is for the purpose of regulation. Diba, nung 2020, it's an issue between the government and the Netflix and yung mga streaming sites, diba? Nung pandemic, medyo na-expose tayo sa mga streaming sites sa internet dahil nga wala tayong ginagawa sa bahay. And hindi naman tayo pwedeng pumunta sa sinehan. So ito, nakita ito ng government natin na maaring makaapekto sa ating cinema industry. That's why may mga proposal na mag-impose ng tax on Netflix. 'Di ba? Parang ganito 'yung nangyayari. And government can actually do that based on this decision.
Sir.
Yes, Princess.
Yung sa mga online shop sa Shopee po. Kasi po nung nag-ano po sila, ang taas po nung naglagay din po sila ng tax, tapos yung mga nag-seller po yung naapektuhan po. Kasi po yun po yung ko po kasi nung po pala na hindi po pala yung Shopee yung nag-aano po ng tax, bali yung sa seller po talaga yung nababawasan yung kita po kasi na-try ko po.
Yun, di ba? Ang pinaka naapektuhan talaga ay yung pinapasahan ng mga businesses because that form of tax nga yun nga ang masakit doon pinapasa sa mga sa mga sellers. That tax can be interpreted as an indirect form of tax na para hindi rin malugi yung mga businesses, nag-impose na lang sila ng greater price dahil nga market system tayo, nag-impose na lang sila ng mas malaking presyo sa kanilang mga binebenta. So, ganun din ang gagawin, for instance, ng Netflix dahil kung sakali mang matuloy yun, tataasan nila yung kanilang yung fee na hinihingi nila sa mga consumers nila. And ganun din yung nangyayari, especially sa mga businesses, small enterprise, at pwede yung ganun kasi the consumers will indirectly bear the burden kapag nag-impose ng tax. Yun ang nakakalungkot doon. Yun. VAT or value-added tax is a form of tax din nga na ini-impose actually sa mga businesses. Pero pinapasa sa mga, kung mapapansin nyo kung bumili kayo sa Jollibee, meron dong VAT, 'di ba? Hindi 'yun talaga para sa iyo. Inimpose 'yon ng government sa Jollibee and then pinapasa na lang nila sa iyo. 'Yun yung doon. Kaya kung tanungin kayo kung ano ang ambag nyo sa lipunan, syempre malaki ang ambag ninyo. Even if you are not a voter or if you're not, of course, kailangan nyo maging voter. Pero, yun nga, may mga instances na kahit hindi pa kayo nakaka-attain ng legal capacity or legal age, nandun, kabilang na kayo, may ambag na rin kayo sa lipunan. Okay? Yun. There's, itong, kumbaga, pinagsama na purpose of taxation is sumptuary purpose of taxation. The main goal talaga is to raise revenue, but yun nga, para ma-attain yung tranquility or para ma-attain yung balance na nangyayari sa ekonomiya, kinakailangan ng ginagamit yung tax bilang regulatory or para ma-control yung iba't ibang imbalances na nangyayari. So sumptuary purpose pwedeng interchangeable sa non-revenue, pwedeng meta ng revenue and non-revenue, pero specifically ito lang ang pwede nating i-take dito. Okay. Meron mga theories na pinagmulan, dapat pala ito ang inuna natin. Merong theory, yun nga, sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, it's proceeds upon the presupposition that the existence of the government is a necessity. There are few beliefs, diba, that the government isn't necessary. Pero yun nga, it's a long debate. Pero the idea that was tested by history is that the government is, or the structure is for the preservation of the general good, and it was tested by history, and the existence of government is a necessity. Ito yung presupposition ng taxation. That's why we must give the fuel for the existence of government, which is yun tax. And dahil dun sa pagbibigay natin ng fuel, merong reciprocal or merong karampatang yung balik na binibigay dapat yung gobyerno, which is the duty to protect and support the state and its inhabitants, or the principle of benefits received principle. Also a related theory is the lifeblood or necessity theory, yung mentioned a while ago. The existence of government is a necessity. It is also established din nga sa jurisprudence, Commissioner versus Alge, that the taxes is the lifeblood of the lifeblood of the government and should be collected without unnecessary hindrance. So illustrations of lifeblood theory, dahil nga kailangan siya, it's an action that we should pay, we should render to the for the purpose of preservation of its existence. The collection of taxes cannot be enjoined or cannot be prohibited by any injunction, or hindi dapat dinedelay, hindi dapat yun nga, hindi dapat hindi dapat pinoprohibit yung pagbayad, but it is case to case basis dahil nga merong unlimited and plenary power yung government to collect taxes. It is subject to certain scrutiny ng constitution, ng courts. Okay? That's why there are some instances na pinapaboran yung mga mamamayan kung depende na rin sa mga sitwasyon. Taxes could not be a subject of compensation or set-off. What does it mean? Hindi siya pwedeng maging donation, hindi siya pwedeng maging premyo, for example, ng government. Nanalo ka sa palaro, tax exempt, pwede ka nang hindi magbayad ng buwis for your lifetime. Hindi pwede yon. So even Heidelin Diaz, di ba? Nakita niyo yung balita na to, that different private entities aside from the government given their rewards dun sa pagkapanalo ni Heidelin Diaz. But the question is Diaz exempt from paying tax? The answer is
Hindi po.
hindi. But if the private entity, for instance, that has given reward to Heidelin Diaz, paid for the tax, no, hindi na sisingilin si Heidelin kasi nga binayaran na ng donor. Kaya nga sabi dito sa batas, provided that the donor's tax has paid for the tax. Yun yung nakalagay sa Internal Revenue Code. Siyempre, hindi na yun hahabulin si Heidelin. Pero kung hindi binayaran ng private entities yung donation, hahabulin si Heidelin. Merong yun, that's for the private entities. But how about for the government who actually given 10 million cash incentive? It is mandated by the law that this donation by the government will not be taxed. Okay, pero yung from the local businesses, kailangan bayaran ng private entities. Kung hindi, si Heidelin ang magbabayad ng mga tax na yon. Dahil nga nag-exceed ng 250,000, which is yun yung amount of money na exempted sa tax, ang computation ng pagbabayad ng buwis ay dun sa exceeding na yon, amount na yon. Okay, from 250,000 hanggang dun sa 10 million or depende dun sa binigay na sa kanya na reward. Okay, so yun na yun. So a valid tax may result in the destruction of the taxpayer's property. So yun, dahil sinabi ko nga din sa inyo kanina that taxation can be a form of police power in with the corollary of regulatory principle, kapag hindi ka nagbayad ng buwis, you will be subject to the destruction of your property. The government will do what is necessary for you to be compelled to pay tax. Even it may result to the destruction of your property. Okay. So yun. Reiteration na naman ng benefit received principle. Hindi ko na masyadong yan. There are different types of tax as to, number 1, the subject matter or the object, as to the purpose, as to who bears the burden, as to the scope of tax, as to the determination of amount, as to gradation or rate. For the subject matter, merong tatlo, personal taxes imposed on a specific person. That's the personal or capitation tax. Tax imposed on lands or personal or real property or sa mga lands. That's property tax. Taxes imposed upon the performance or upon the products, that's excise tax. So, ang example ng personal tax ay yung community tax or yung sedula. Minsan, ang personal tax ay nagiging, yung evidence of your allegiance to the government. Tulad nung nangyari sa panahon ng Espanyol. Kaya nga, yung pagpunit doon, yung mitya na kumakalas ang mga Filipino sa Spanish government. Because it can be a form of your allegiance. Property tax, yun nga, minsan ini-impose yun, but it is based on the value of your property. Excise, yung mga ini-impose sa paggamit natin ng mga produkto or pag-perform natin ng privilege or an act. As to the purpose, may general or revenue generating tax na yun nga na discuss na natin to kanina, regulatory for the purpose of regulation or prohibiting something or incentivizing an act. As to who bears the burden, may direct tax directly imposed on a specific person or specific company, direct. Pero merong, yun yung mga hindi mo pwedeng i-transfer. Hindi mo pwedeng ibigay sa another person. But indirect tax, you can transfer it just like the value-added tax. As to the scope, kung sino yung nag-i-impose, merong ini-impose yung entire Philippine government. Yon, may specific na ini-impose naman yung different localities, which is the city or the municipality. For example, nag-apply ka sa City Hall or kumuha ka ng documents at kumuha ka ng stamp tax or lahat ng documentary requirements subject to taxation yon at mapupunta yun sa kaban ng city or municipal units. Pero meron, for instance, value-added tax, napupunta yan directly sa national government. Or sa Pilipinas, pwedeng yung pera mo na yun, mapamahagi sa ibang lugar dahil nga nation ang mag-collect. So as to the determination of amount, merong specific tax, kinakount lang kung ilang amount of products or ilang performances yung nakuha mo or nagawa mo, then subject to tax. Ad valorem tax is based on value and not on amount or quantity. As to gradation or kung papaano gumagalaw or nag-iiba yung rate, merong proportional tax, pare-parehas lang, fixed percentage, pare-parehas lang kayo ng binabayad. Yon, meron namang progressive or based on the increasing of the bracket. Kunyari, ang ang bracket mo ay low income, mababa lang yung iyong babayaran. Kapag ang bracket mo ay nasa mataas, mas mataas yung babayaran mo. So ito yung kind of tax system natin sa Pilipinas. We have this progressive system of taxation nakalagay sa Constitution. Ayun, para ma-attain natin yung equity, not necessarily equality. We don't have this regressive tax, which is kapag mas tumataas yung bracket or mas mataas yung value, mas kumukonti naman yung binabayad. Siguro other countries impose this kind of taxation. Yun. Reiteration na to dun sa good tax system. So that's the fiscal policy we've already accomplished. Next meeting we will try to wrap up all our discussion in macroeconomics by discussing this international trade practices and policies.